Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. Today we're discussing the Lange Sohne Datograph Perpetual in Platinum. You can see and you can purchase this post-2015 Datograph Perpetual on our website. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy these videos, and please click on the card in the upper right hand corner of the screen at any point during this video to see our full sales listing for this watch with additional accessories included in the sale, high-resolution images for your desktop that don't include my wrist, and of course complete pricing details for this and all of our a Lange Sohne timepieces. Now, the watch on my wrist is the post-2015 execution. The original Datograph Perpetual came out in 2006. This one, 41 millimeters across the round of the case, represents current production, and that's not including the crown, chronograph pushers, or the date adjuster at 10 o'clock. Now, the watch is thick, perhaps a little bit more than Lange advertises. By my calibers, it's 14 millimeters thick, but because of the generously sloped bezel that comprises almost a third of the case thickness, it shouldn't have any trouble slipping underneath a dress cuff. Now, from lug to lug, it's large but not oversized at 50 millimeters horizontally across the wrist. I would say down to about 14.5 centimeters in circumference. Your wrist should wear this one just fine with good proportion and security. Just remember, it's a heavy watch, but I consider that to be one of the selling points. Now, the strap is substantial. It is rectangular alligator leather with a semi-gloss finish, a monotone stitch, folded edges, a little bit of bolstering down the center to give it body, and then it comes with a full platinum Lange deployant clasp. Beautifully executed, all of high polish inside and out, very heavy, very secure when buckled. It provides a nice counterweight to the heavy watch such that when it's on your wrist, it's almost like a sports watch on a bracelet with a nice counterweight to prevent it from capsizing if you are of the type who prefers to wear your watches loose. Now, there's some handsome contrasting finish. The case lines are simple but elegant. You can see the beautiful step between lug and case band, satin finish in contrast with high polish. Simple forms executed beautifully, and of course a vintage-inspired yet very subtly curved rectangular profile to the pushers as well as the pusher adjuster for the date. The dial is a light gray. It's not silver. It's not the darkest possible ruthenium. It's essentially a light storm cloud gray, I would say. Cumulonimbus on your wrist. Beautifully executed, though. You can see it has depth with the tachymeter scale outboard raised above the center dial, executed in silver and then colored and printed with hand-applied white gold, high polish indices and Roman numerals. Remember, this is technically part of the Saxonia collection, so many of the stylistic cues that are germane to that family are present and correct here. Note the delicate alpha-style hands, almost like Dauphine, but pinched as they approach the cannon pinion for greater elegance. They're also loomed, so the Datograph Perpetual does have a measure of luminescence at night. You can see the depth of the dial and also the quality of the finish. A little splash of color at 6 o'clock with the crescent-style moon phase. You can also see small dashes of blue about the hands on the sub-registers, chronograph seconds at center, and the AM/PM or danger zone indicator on the register at 8 o'clock. Now, you'll also note there's a beautiful white gold aperture for the double date. Actuating the date is as satisfying as actuating the chronograph, and I should remind you that the watch retains the flyback capability of the conventional Datograph. Perpetual calendar, of course, programmed through the year 2100, and on the case back we can see the machine behind the masterpiece. Now, this is the Lange caliber L9521 in-house manual wind 36-hour power reserve, 18,000 vibration per hour balance, now free sprung. If you activate the hacking seconds, you can see that it is a different architecture than the original L951 Datograph that came out in 1999, now free sprung with all adjustments made using variable inertia balance blocks. It's kept up with the time technically. Of course, it still has that charming slow beat, almost pocket watch cadence, black polished swan's neck regulator for beat adjustment, I believe, as well as a hand engraved balance cock in the Lange fashion. Column wheel chronograph, you can see it interacting with its horns and levers as it rotates, beautifully capped with a black polished cap. The execution of the movement is distinctive of glossuta. Now, of course, you have the three-quarter style bridge underneath the mass of chronograph apparatus. You have black polished elements, including For instance, the cap over the escape wheel, you can see the black polish of the swan's neck regulator. You can also see the same treatment on several of the screw heads used in the chronograph system, as well as the cap and the screw head of the column wheel. Now then, there is a glossuta stripe pattern across the bridges, beautifully aligned. Across the base plate, a beautiful tight and even perlage. What's significant here is that you have two different types of screws. Blued screws, which are heat oxidized and fired in a kiln to create that blue, are used for assembly of fixed components. Polished screws are used for adjustment of the mechanism. You'll also note that there's a beautiful graining across some of the levers of the chronograph mechanism, and the material itself used for the bridges and plates is what's known as German silver, or a copper nickel zinc alloy that has a beautiful golden tone that is quite distinct from the flashy rhodium plating that you'll see in Geneva finished movements, for example. This is all distinctive of German finishing, right down to the use of golden chaton fixed by screws, a tribute to the pocket watch heritage of Saxony. There's a lot going on here. You can almost overwhelm yourself just tracking all of the capabilities and refinements. I want to call out an additional feature. You'll note as I actuate the chronograph, moving the lateral clutch in and out, you can see the driving wheel and the intermediate wheel are both jeweled. It has a fully jeweled lateral clutch, a rich and rare refinement that I don't even see in all Geneva hallmark chronograph movements. No detail has been left to accident. Everything is exquisite. Exquisite aesthetically, exquisite technically. This is one for the left and the right side of the brain. Will it be on your left or right wrist? Take it home on our website.